Palantir is set to announce their earnings on February 3rd, and the stock is running up heading into that announcement, up almost 12% in the last 5 trading days. And part of that move has to do with one increase in price target from a very notable analyst, Dan Ives. He increased his target for Palantir stock to $90 per share. So in today's video, we will be discussing Palantir, this new price target, but mainly focusing in on their earnings. There are a few key metrics to pay attention to in their upcoming earnings announcements and what those could actually mean for the stock. And then we'll leave off the video by giving my opinion on Palantir and what I think could happen over the next 5 years. Thank you guys so much for the continued support on the channel. If you're wondering what is the best way you can support the channel, it is by going down below and dropping a like on this video. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. Thank you guys again so much, and I hope you enjoy the video. One way I try to give back to you guys is by being fully transparent with you on where my positions stand and what I'm doing in my portfolio. Here is the YouTube portfolio. It's currently sitting at a value of $59,807.79. And within this portfolio, I do hold shares of Palantir. I have 10 shares worth a current market value of $789.80. My cost basis is only $93.07. So I am up almost 750% on this position. Keep in mind, I did own 100 shares of Palantir at one point. However, in the start of January, I ended up selling out of 90 of those shares. Other than that, I hold shares of Alibaba, Google, Apple, Microsoft, PayPal, SoFi, Super Microcomputer, and Visa. Our newest add to the portfolio was Super Microcomputer. I currently have 150 shares and it's up only 1%. Right now in total, my portfolio is up 50% amongst these single stock positions. That means I've invested around $10,000 in terms of cost basis, and they are up to around $15,000 in total value currently. I do also have a couple dividend ETFs, SCHD and VYM. I've talked about it numerous times. I plan at some point of selling out of SCHD. However, right now is not the time because I currently have a decent pile of cash already on the sidelines, $15,000 to be exact. One thing I have not mentioned in this portfolio is I have not contributed to it in the last probably 3 to 6 months. This has been a portfolio that I've kind of just let grow on its own over that time period. Sometime probably in the next 8 to 10 months, I'll get back to reinvesting into it. However, right now I'm not adding any cash. So any gains that you're seeing currently are from stock gains. So keep all of that in mind as we talk about Palantir, because I do still currently hold shares of the company, but I also recently sold out, and that ended up being decent timing. We could see Palantir is up again around 11.5% over the last 5 trading days. However, if you look at the last month, it's actually down around 4%, and it's gone through a decent amount of volatility. It dropped by around 20% from December through January, and now in the last couple weeks, we've seen it actually rebound around 20%. But really, if you bought any time in the last year, you are likely up on Palantir. The stock over the last 52 weeks has ran up almost 380%. And this is even true over the last 5 years. We could see that IPO, Palantir shot up to around $35 per share. And it took a number of years for the stock price to get back there. However, if you held in the long term from that time till now, you would still be up around 120%. This recent run up from Palantir's stock is because of the strength that we have seen from their earnings. However, it never hurts to have analysts also bullish on your company. One very notable analyst is Dan Ives. He recently boosted his price target on Palantir to $90 per share. And he made the following statement about the company. Palantir remains one of our top names to own in 2025, as its game-changing AIP strategy is quickly becoming a key foundational platform for enterprises heading down the AI use case path across verticals. And the key part of Dan Ives' statement is use case of AI. This has been a conversation in the last 3 to 6 months around how useful actually will AI be to the broader economy. We need to start seeing it impacting companies' top and bottom line numbers. And right now, a lot of that is being priced into the market, but one of the few companies that is actually utilizing AI in an effective way is Palantir. And we can even see this on their website. They talk about how their technology is actually impacting companies and the decisions that they're making. This one specifically is calling out inventory. They are looking at customers' inventory using AI to try and analyze how fast is the company actually using up that inventory and when do they need to reorder pre-order. Companies do not want to be sitting on large quantities of inventory for long periods of time. And if Palantir is able to help companies optimize their inventory, that is going to be a benefit not only for the company, but also for Palantir. And the commercial space is only one growth vector for Palantir. The other primary growth vector is US government revenue. They are signing contracts consistently with the government to actually utilize AI systems within their military operations. And this is massive, especially as we see Donald Trump coming into office. He is likely going to increase spending on not only the military, but also AI. And we are already seeing this. He's talking about spending $500 billion over the next 4 to 5 years, and that is likely going to build out AI infrastructure, which could include impacts to Palantir, as well as military applications and military contracts on utilizing AI technology. However, looking forward, we need to see continued growth in these key categories. In the third quarter of 2024, they posted growth for US commercial revenue of 54%. That is a massive increase year over year. They went from $116 million to $179 million in Q3 of 2024. US government revenue also increased by a substantial margin, 40% increase year over year, from $229 million to $320 million. And in my opinion, investors are primarily going to be focused on top line numbers for Palantir in this upcoming earnings announcement. A lot of that has to do with the business model that Palantir has, being a software as a service business. If we see them consistently grow their top line, I would expect that their bottom line and their margins are increasing as well. Because as they build out this technology, as they build out platforms for different customers, a lot of those different platforms can be utilized across different industries or even the same industry. What we're talking about there is, let's say Hertz again builds out an AIP platform with Palantir. Now Palantir can utilize that with Avis or any other car rental platform that wants to get into their ecosystem and start using their technology. And ultimately, what I'm talking about here is that strong top line numbers should fuel strong bottom line numbers. Because of software as a service based businesses, what that ultimately leads to is stronger margins because they don't have to build out teams to kind of advance these other technologies. But we'll have to see if that trend continues on February 3rd. They are set to announce their earnings on that date, and EPS estimates are currently sitting at 11 cents per share, with revenue estimates sitting at $776.78 million. However, one very key thing to keep in mind is that analysts right now are projecting that Palantir will actually beat their own guidance for the fourth quarter. We can see that during Q3, they provided guidance for the fourth quarter between $767 million and $771 million for revenue. So this is a little bit concerning, because if Palantir comes through and actually misses these numbers and comes in line with their own guidance, that could actually send the stock lower, because analysts and the rest of the market are already expecting Palantir to actually beat their numbers. If we're looking a little bit closer at the bottom line for Palantir, I think the big thing for them is continuing to expand on their profitability. Next year, analysts only are expecting 48 cents of EPS. And the reason I say only is because in 2024, they're expecting 38 cents of EPS. I honestly believe that Palantir, if they continue growing at this high rate, should actually see their EPS expand more than analysts are expecting in 2025. Obviously, if we see a little bit of a slowdown in the economy, this could affect these numbers and they could come more in line with what analysts are expecting. But I think overall, going back to software as a service based businesses and the expansion of margin that Palantir is seeing, I think they should do better than what analysts are expecting in 2025. And to be very straightforward, they need to do better on the bottom line to continue seeing their stock grow. Because if we look at the forward PE ratio on this company, it is currently sitting at 163.93. That is astronomically high. In terms of a trailing PE ratio, they're sitting just under 400. So this is a company that needs to experience high EPS growth over the next few years to start bringing down this valuation. And if you're wondering why bottom line growth is important for Palantir, we can take a look at none other than Tesla. Back in 2021, Tesla was trading around $300 per share. From that point till really just a few months ago, the stock basically traded sideways. We have seen a recent run up in Tesla stock price, but even if you were buying the stock back in November of 2021 till now, you are still basically break even on this company. And ultimately, the reason for this has to do with valuation. Back in 2020 and 2021, the valuation for Tesla was anywhere from 300 to 1,000 for a trailing 12-month PE ratio. From there, we did see expansion of their earnings, and this helped drop their PE ratio down to a more reasonable level, anywhere really from 40 to 80. However, in the long term, that has caused the stock price to basically trade sideways. We can again kind of see how the price has trended over this time period, and it's basically gone sideways, other than most recently with the run-up that we've seen from the election that has caused Tesla to run up significantly in price. However, that has also caused their valuation to shoot up significantly. And if we see it go back to more reasonable levels, that could lead to the share price dropping back down to around that $300 mark. All of that is not to say that you can't make money buying Palantir at the current stock price, but it is to say that right now the odds are a little bit stacked against this company. We do have catalysts coming into the market. Donald Trump has committed to spending a lot of money on the military and on AI, and ultimately that should help Palantir, but there are a lot of question marks around Palantir's valuation and how much of this is already priced into the stock. So as I always say, don't buy a company just because a random guy on YouTube talked about it. Don't buy a company just because some analysts increased their price target for the company either. They are always increasing them and decreasing them as the stock moves up and down. So don't take those as buy signals or sell signals. Just do your own research. Make sure you are looking into companies and understanding the fundamentals of their business and how they can actually capitalize on the markets and moving forward, what the company is looking at doing in terms of expanding their revenue, as well as focusing on bottom line growth. Those are all very important factors to take into consideration when considering purchasing a stock. So again, don't buy a company just because I talked about it here on YouTube. Make sure you are doing your own research, looking into companies that meet your risk tolerance as well as your time horizon. Thank you guys so much for the continued support on the channel. If you did enjoy this video, drop a like down below and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. And for the joke of the day, who is Frosty's favorite aunt? Check the comments down below for the answer. Thanks for watching.